What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. Today, I've got Jason Latimer and Rich Ortega with me. How you guys doing?
Hey.
All right, Pat. What's up, y'all?
It's a hot one.
Yeah, I'm shining a little bit. It's even hot out here in my little shop. I don't have my mini split in yet. I just got one of those little portable ones with a tube you throw out a window. I got thrown up and over a hole in the trusses, and I got insulation kind of blocking it. And it's been doing pretty good, but it's in the 90s today and like 100% humidity here in Indiana, and it's not keeping up.
Jeez, it's hot, dude.
It's dumb. I mean, I can deal with the heat. It's the humidity that gets me. I'm fat, man. I don't like to sweat. So, how about where you guys are at, Jason? It's always hot and humid in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, it's night and it's freaking 89 degrees over here. It just doesn't make any sense. That's Tampa for you. That's Florida for you.
Yeah, here it's not all that bad. I know it's getting in the 90s during the day, but I mean, it kind of starts to die back down pretty well, pretty quickly, I would say. I mean, again, if you ask people that are from here, they're dying, and I'm like this, like you said, Florida, 90-something degrees at night. I'm like, I'm great. I'm like, up here when it rains, it actually cools down. You don't see the street steaming when the rain hits it like you do back in Florida. So I'm like, this is good.
Yeah, dude. I left work this morning. I went and I had some Chick-fil-A install some garlic clam grills at Chick-fil-A, and like I pulled up to the job site. It was like 7:30 and it was 80 degrees. I'm like, this is stupid for Indiana. I'm like, why? They were saying 99 tomorrow, but now they backed it down to 95. So we're going to talk about the heat. I mean, it's everywhere. It's a topic. It's pretty applicable what's going on right now. We're in the summer here in the northern hemisphere, in America. So we're going to talk about what we do in the heat and how we deal with it. So I think Jason has some stuff he wants to show off here first, and stuff they do.
Yeah, I'm not sure what everybody's company does. Some of the things my company does, and God bless them for it. They provide us with like snap towels, and I think most companies do. These are, of course, they got to put the logo and the swag on there. Got to represent. They give us. I guess they give us black and beige sun hats. I've been rocking this all week. I've been doing a bunch of PMs, teardowns, and what recently they've been doing is they've been providing every technician with these bags of liquid IV, and I thought this was hangover medicine, to be honest with you, because I would get this in the middle of the night. But yeah, they give us a pack of these, and that's pretty awesome. There's I think 16 in this pack. Some of them have 14. They have different flavors. You put one in your first cold bottle in the morning, shake that up. You drink one, and then you just follow with water the rest of the day. You don't want to drink them back to back. There's high potassium in there, and it's not great for your heart, but it's definitely a lifesaver. But yeah, our company provides these. We have a pallet of water out back, and it goes quick, man. Well, especially the install team, the PM team, and so everybody keeps a case of water. We grab like one a week and grab our coolers, and we just try to stay cool, man. And it actually takes 24 hours. Like if you're really dehydrated, for you to be correctly hydrated, you need to drink water for a good 24 hours before your whole body's actually fully hydrated. I mean, if you feel dehydration, you can start drinking water. It's not recommended that you shock your system with really cold water, but stay covered, take some breaks and stuff like that. We did a job yesterday. I think we were on the roof for a good 7 hours. So we did one RTU, had a complete tear down, clean up, put back together, took about a 20-minute break, sat in our vehicles or went inside, and then came back. We did the next unit probably about 2 hours, and then came back into the third one, and we were done, man. We were done. So.
Yeah, Rich, you're from down in Florida, so you get it.
Oh, yeah. I'm more sensitive to the heat now for some reason. I think just because I'm getting older, because when I was down there, I could stay on a roof all day and be fine. I would drink a crap ton of water. Like I'd probably go through a couple gallons of water in a day.
Yeah.
But thankfully up here, our company gave us those, I think it's the Trade Fox umbrellas with the magnet on the bottom.
Really?
Yeah, those things are a lifesaver. They gave those to us last year. And I mean, I've been on the roof doing like compressor change out on RTUs and stuff where you're up to like 4 or 5 hours straight. And that thing will block out some serious sunlight. So that thing's pretty cool. On top of that, I got a. If I don't have that out, I got a, big, wide brim straw hat that I like to use. Between
Nice.
those two, I can handle most of the time on the roof.
So I got a blue one. I want the black one just because I want to buy everything. But I've got the blue one. I've had it for a couple of years, and I got Father's Day. I love that thing, man. It's great for a rain shower if you're doing some stuff, or knocks the sun off you, and it's pretty cool. So you just got to make sure you got that thing anchored because it will blow off a roof in a heartbeat.
Yes, it will.
That
I've had to catch it a couple times.
That magnet is not the strongest. That's why I saw that little clip thing. I always got like a little loop of wire I just screw to a rooftop unit, a hole, and just clip that clip in it and keep it flying away.
I like that.
Yep.
Mine's faded. You can see in the videos that it was nice and blue when I got it years ago. It's faded, but it's working. Thinking about getting the black one too. Probably cover a little bit more.
Yep. I mean, like you said, make sure you stay drinking water. I mean, us guys up here in the north don't really get it. I mean, we're pretty temperament. As far as weather goes, it'll be decent. We get in the 80s, but then right now it's in the 90s, and guys aren't used to it. They're not drinking like they're supposed to, and it gets them. I mean, I tell a story with my son. So my son works for me, but before he worked for me, he worked for a city, and he was out on a road crew. They were paving and doing stuff, and they gave him Gatorades, and they had big things of water. And he just wasn't drinking it, and literally he wasn't feeling good. So he drove the truck back like 10 minutes and locked up driving. Like his muscles cramped up on the steering wheel, and he couldn't turn the steering wheel. He got out of the truck and fell in the warehouse floor, and they had to call an ambulance. And he had a freaking heat stroke at 8 years old.
Wow.
And he's scared of needles, so they take him to the emergency room, and they want to give him an IV. And he's freaking out, won't let him do it. Then they start giving him Gatorades. They're like, "Start chugging, kid." So I mean, it's a real deal. I mean, like you said, 24 hours in advance. If it's going to be hot, I tell my guys, "Hey, if you know you're going to be on the roof tomorrow, you start drinking today."
Yeah, heat stroke's no joke, man. That's scary stuff right there. And I mean, heaven forbid that happens when no one's around. You're done.
Oh yeah, you could do that on the roof and no one's gonna know.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't know all day. I mean, that's the bad thing. It's scary. We're in a dangerous environment a lot, and people don't know what we're doing. I mean, we all work on roofs, and no one knows we're up there. The manager may know we're up there, but they're not coming up checking on us. It's not just heat. We can get shocked or anything else up there and just be up there. So, you got to be aware of things.
So when I moved back to Florida from Washington State, where my wife was, where we were stationed, and one of the big things I was talking to at my HVAC school was there, up in Washington State, the weather's great, like residential's great, and I'm like, well, I'm going back to Florida. I want nothing to do with crawling up in crawl spaces and attics, and I mean, I barely want to get in mine, and I mean, hats off to residential guys for climbing up in these attics and these in the middle of summer down south. And I guess it's dangerous everywhere, obviously, but man, it's nothing I want. It's nothing I want.
So Adrian brings up a cool thing. He's in Texas, of course. It's hot there. It's always hot there where he's at. I'm pretty sure he's pretty close to the border, but he always rocks those arm sleeves. I can't wear a long sleeve shirt either, but my arms are so big. I don't know if I can get some of the sleeves, but he gets them from HVAC Tactical. I think he's got some of his own now, but he likes them. He says they work out pretty well. So good tip there, Adrian.
Yeah, I used to wear those a lot when I was down in Florida too, and they do make a huge difference. A lot of people wouldn't think so because you're thinking why you got sleeves on your arm when it's hot, but they do keep that sun and that heat off of you really well.
Well, I'll have to get a pair because a few of my techs got that, and I'm just looking at them and I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, man, it's hot enough without with short sleeve shirts. Why would you want to do that? But I'm noticing a lot of technicians, and I was thinking it was just for the more fair skin for sunburn, but it's actually across the board. So I might have to try that out. I've only had burn sleeves when I worked in an oil change or the thick sleeves, but I see that these are made out of some sort of like wicking material to disperse the heat. So I'll have to get myself a pair. You said HVAC Tactical has them?
Yep. Adrian actually has some pretty slick ones that got his logo on them now. I don't know if they're for sale or just something he had made for him. But
yo, Adrian, I'll rock them.
he's rocking them, but HVAC Tactical has them, and if Adrian has some of his logo on them, I'll buy one for him to support him.
Okay.
Man. I'm a huge fan of Adrian. Everything he does, man. He's a really cool dude.
Yeah, I love his content. He's doing great.
So Quentin Webb says, I take one of those Frog Talk chili pads and put it on my head and then cover it with a hat. Helps no one sleep on the roof. Yeah, those things are pretty cool. They gave us some of those a couple years ago. So this year they gave us a water bottle and like a like just probably a snap towel or whatever you call it. I forget what to call it. But
I hate to say, did you get that janky little water bottle that I looked at this thing and I'm like, oh great, hot water.
it's not even a cool. Yeah. I carry a half-gallon one with me in my truck.
Do you live off the highway?
No, that's a extremely close flying airplane.
Oh, I thought it was a truck.
Never seen that before. Oh crap!
So those Frog Talk chili pad things work out pretty good. I have a couple of them, and the thing is, like, you forget about them, they get stiff as a board. You can't do nothing with them.
What are they exactly? I've never heard of them.
It's like some weird. I don't know what kind of material it is, but when it gets wet, it actually cools. You can like pour hot water on it, and it still cools. Some kind of evaporator.
This is like a towel.
Yeah, it's like a towel, and they're pretty cool.
I'll have to look that up.
It's Frog Talk chili pads.
Frog Talk.
Okay.
I'll try anything, man. I will try anything.
Dude, what I see a lot of guys do is they actually keep them like a Ziploc bag in their cooler of ice. That's in a Ziploc bag, so you're not getting your sweat all over your ice and stuff. But keeping that Ziploc bag, keep a little water in there, dude. It's like ice cold, man. It works pretty well. So,
I bet I'll probably use that tomorrow. I'll have to see where I can find one of those.
Yeah, I like that idea too. I think it's what was it on Instagram? Was it Just Work HVAC or something like that? He takes a camel bag, fills it with ice water, and then throws his basic hand tools in it. And he's just up on the roof, and he was telling me he just drinks as he goes. He'll be constantly sipping on water, and I'm like, that's something I need to try.
It's got a camel pack?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I was telling my boss about that. My boss was like, I'm going to see if we can get corporate to get us a bunch of those, provide them for the guys so we can do the same thing. Just dump ice water in there, and if you're on a roof, I don't know what they hold, like maybe a gallon or so some of them hold, and just drink and work.
Oh, that makes complete sense.
So this question probably directed at you, Jason. Andrew Benton wants to know, has any of you guys been in hospitality before?
All my life. Oh, yeah, all my life, man. I'm that guy, hospitality all day. Yeah, restaurants, hotels, bar management, restaurant management, hosting, serving, retail. So it's all hospitality since I was about 16.
I mean, we're still in it. We're just a different side of it. I mean,
exactly.
Customers don't see us if we're coming and going out of the building, but we're still part of hospitality. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah.
So my company, me and Rich technically work for the same company, just different brands of it. So, but it's amazing how different we are, though. It's kind of weird. But my branch, we have an ice machine. There's bags in there. You can bag ice. You want to come in. They keep a ton of bottled water in the fridge, and if it gets too bad, or if they know we're doing a rooftop install, we're doing change outs, they will bring out a cooler full of Gatorade and water for us, to make sure we're stocked up and ready to go. And we don't do a whole ton of installs or, that kind of stuff. But if they do know it's coming up, they will make sure that, we have a cooler stocked full of water and Gatorade out on the job site.
Nice.
Yeah, we got an ice machine too.
Yeah, we took it out of Qdoba, man. It was 2 years old. So Qdoba went through a period where they had to spend a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. And I wheeled in this new ice machine. I looked over at the other one. I was like, this thing's brand new. And I was trying to snag it. My boss was like, no, let's go into the warehouse.
Yeah, ours came from a Chick-fil-A change out.
Oh, so you got
you got the nuggets?
We got the nuggets, which is great for the cooler because it fits into every open spot on the cooler.
Yeah, the Follets, right?
Yeah, Follets, yep.
Yeah, I'd love to have one of those.
Yeah, I would too, man.
I want one of those little tabletop ones. Sefesta has like a little tabletop one. You see them at I'm trying to think where you see them at, but they got an ice and water dispenser in them, and it only makes so much. But I mean, it'd be perfect for like your house. Just you have a little crushed ice machine there.
Yep.
One of the differences, they say crushed, opal, and it's like opals at a certain size. They come out. Some come out in tubes, and then some actually come out pretty chipped. I don't know the name difference. I just call it all, crushed ice.
False tube, man, and they could pump that stuff at the distance. We had a hospital pumping it like 25 feet, man.
Yeah.
Through a tube?
Yeah, it's a tube, and they insulate the crap out of it.
And you're talking where the head is like several feet away from wherever they're actually the bin they're using or whatever. Yeah. We had an Italian restaurant in Orlando that we used to service that used those.
There's a pizza shop in Orlando that uses they have 2 or 4 of those units in the manager's office above the monitors and everything, and then the it's like 25 feet run tubes all the way down. We had to do a PM on it, and there's some sort of sensor in there because they have to put those little blue sponges through there.
Yeah.
And the sensors tell it to stop if there's some sort of clog, and it's a mother to take it apart and clean it, run a rag down there with the rope. Yep.
It's a switch. So it notices like that where it's pushing that ice out. If it gets, since it's too much pressure, that switch actually pulls off, and it's just like a little eye, and it breaks that eye. That's what kicks it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't visited the location yet to check it out, but I've heard about it.
That's pretty cool. Some Chick-fil-A's around here have them. So if they they'll have 2 machines on a bend, and there's an opening on the bend. They'll dump a third one in, like mounted on the wall, and pipe it down. A lot of times,
Yep.
so if they can't fit a bigger bend in, they'll just put 3 machines on a 2-head, bend, but they'll pipe it in there.
And they'll still run out of ice. At least over here they do.
Oh, they sell it here. They'll sell you a bag of that ice, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if they do that here. I haven't seen that.
Yep. There's a sign at the drive-thru. Someone wants to hear. It may just be the owner doing it. Something else to make money. But I spent the better part of a Chick-fil-A today. So what else you guys do? Just stay hydrated. If I'm on a roof and I'm cleaning coils, I'll be that guy that drinks out of the hose. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care. I'm 41 years old. I've drank out of the hose my entire life. Just let it run for a little bit because you don't know how long the water's been sitting in that hose. But I let it run for a while, and I'll drink out of it all day long. I don't care, man.
Yeah, yesterday I was cleaning a condenser, and I just decided to take the wand and point it straight up and let all the water rain back down on me and my trainee. I was like, yeah, this feels good.
That's awesome.
I've done that several times, man. I will just hose myself down. I don't care. Spray your hat and put your hat right back on your head. Ain't no shame in it, man. It's miserable out there. You just gotta be safe and get a little bit of a pleasure from cooling off about 5-10 minutes. It's well worth it.
And if it's a rooftop with big RTU units that cast a nice shadow, if I'm waiting for something to happen on a unit, I'll go ahead and post up under the RTU under the shadow of it.
Was that one of you guys that talked about taking the cap off the supply air or the return air where it goes back into this? Someone was talking about they go on the side discharge and pull that cap off. So instead of dumping all the air back in the building, it's dumping some of it out the side, and they just sit there in front of that.
No, that wasn't me, but
I didn't say I did that, but I've done that. I've unscrewed it, slid it inside over the hole like I was trying to test the. Sometimes I was shown to, if you want the heat strips, sometimes before you turn them on, you can take that side panel off, slide it over the ductwork, turn it on with the blower, and all that crap will blow out. But yeah, I could sit there and like some of that cool air in the summer. Yeah. I'm guilty.
Someone made a video of it last week. I'm trying to think. I thought it was Rich. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know who it was.
That wasn't me. Nah.
It's pretty deep.
It's like, nah.
You put all the screws back in it. I don't care. Shoot. You gotta test it, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
That's funny. So you got, make sure you stay hydrated, cooling towels, take breaks. I mean, if you get to where you stop sweating, you're in some danger. Get off the roof.
Yeah.
If you get to where you're nauseous, get off the roof. Don't stay up there. If you feel sick, you're getting a headache, don't stay up there. Get down and get some help. We have GPSs in our van. If you idle too long, they beep at you. It's so annoying. But if I'm hot and I'm getting to the point where I need to sit in the van for 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to sit in the van 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. The boss isn't going to care. It's going to generate a report, but I just told my boss, hey, dude, it's hot. I'm taking a break. Leave me alone.
In Florida in the summertime, I used to keep my van running if I was working outside with the AC blasting. My bosses, they didn't give a crap. They were like, we'd rather you do that. If you start to get too hot, go sit in the van for, 10, 15 minutes, whatever you need, and then get back to it. I usually leave that running all the time. I like what Adrian said there, talking about go chill out and walk in when you're done on the roof. I've done
awesome.
that.
Nothing wrong with that.
So 2 years ago, it was this week actually, 2 years ago, we had a Schwann's food. Do you guys have that in your area? Schwann's frozen food. They deliver food to you, can buy it. It's frozen food. Well,
Kroger.
It's just like all they sell is like their own brand of stuff, and but they have these big, huge frozen warehouses. And this big, giant walk-in cooler. I forget how big it was, but we were changing out condensing unit evaporators, and it was 95 degrees outside, and it'd be pouring rain, and then I'm going into a freezer that's 5 degrees, 0 degrees, because it's only running on half the power. So it's we're trying to get the other half power running. But like you'd be sweating and you go inside and freeze. You come back out and you thaw out and just be soaked. It was absolutely miserable. It was like that for like 4 days straight, dude.
Oh man, my father's he's like 80 years old from PR, and he'd tell me, he's like, if you're hot or sweaty, never put your face in a freezer or cooler because, and this might be a wives' tale, but he's like, you'll get a seizure and your face will just turn and it'll be stuck that way, and it scared the crap out of me.
That's what they used to tell me. They used to say, but instead of a seizure, they said it would be like a stroke.
Yeah, it would twist your face.
Paralyzed, and everybody knew somebody that happened to, but you never met them.
I don't know what the hell you guys have been doing, but I don't think that's
it's a Puerto Rican thing.
It's funny though, because every time I go from the roof to a freezer, I still get scared that my face is gonna.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, my dad.
We got Mike in here. So he says it's always hot in Arizona. Winter is just less hot. Yeah, I think Josh was saying it was like 115 degrees or something there this week. It's just
dry.
Yeah,
I don't
think it matters though. At 115,
yeah.
if it was dry or wet. I mean, it's still. Oh boy, that's brutal. I couldn't. You know, I've always been asked to go to other branches and work, and I went to Florida and I went to Seattle and this other stuff, and I don't think I'd go to Arizona, and especially in the summer. Maybe in like December, I'd probably try it, but I don't know about July, August.
So, man, I always wouldn't mind traveling for work. Like I tomorrow I have a day, a bunch, got to fix a leak, find and fix a leak, change some sensors. I'm going to be at this place all day, but I think about going out of state and doing some work. It makes it a little bit more fun, in my opinion, since I'm a manager now, but I'd still have to go out in the field. But it's more adventurous when you get to go out of town for me. I'm probably not if you're going somewhere blazing hot, Pat. But
dude, well, I went to Florida in July, like 7-8 years ago, and it was miserable because, like, oh, you're coming down to help, but you're doing all the PM. So I was on the roof of like every Burger King in Pensacola from Mississippi to like, I don't know, Destin or whatever. Like every Burger King on the coast, dude. And I was just like, I'll never come back down here and helping you assholes again.
You drove?
Yeah, I drove a van down there. My wife went with me, so I stayed in the hotel, and then I got my workout. I'd get like 10 hours in, and I'd come home. We'd go out, we'd go on the beach and eat dinner and stuff. It's cool. And then after I came back, because my boss booked the hotel room, when I came back, talked to someone else. He's like, "Oh no, if you were going to help out, I would have got you a condo on the beach, especially if your wife was going." And I was like, "Ah, damn."
No, Motel 6.
I was at some like historic motel downtown, some historic hotel downtown. It was pretty cool, but yeah, I've traveled quite a bit for work between training and stuff, and it's always fun to get to different cities and see different people and do different things for sure.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
So Mike said 115 with 14% humidity. Brian says 95 with 90% humidity. It's brutal everywhere. I don't know how you guys do it.
I know I was 222 3 weeks ago. I'm 207 now. I'm
dang.
I'll take it. I'm losing some weight. But.
Dude, I got back over that 400-pound mark yesterday. I'm excited.
Good, man.
Dude,
you're killing it, bro.
Yeah, you're killing it, dude.
Times, that's the bad thing. I've done a 100-pound swing several times over and over and over. It's just, yeah, I couldn't even. I'd kill to be 225 on a roof right now instead of 400 on a roof. But I'll do it. I mean, like I don't make no excuses for it. I mean, I put myself in a situation and I did it. So
I can't do it without an accountability partner, man. You have to have one. Somebody's got to kick your ass.
I got that mirror. I got that David Goggins mirror up on the outside of my office right here.
Oh, you can't hurt me? That's cool.
Got the fucking accountability mirror up, and my freezer out there by my waist says, it says all kinds of stuff. I don't want to get into it because I'll have to change the rating for the podcast if I start saying what it says. Too many F-bombs and I'll get in trouble. So, heat doesn't only take a toll on us, it takes a toll on equipment. I mean, Rich posted a video of a dirty coil yesterday, I think, and keep up, and all it was just dirty. I had the same thing. It was in a concession stand inside Hinkle Fieldhouse, so it's kind of weird, but it's hot in there. It doesn't have a whole lot of air movement.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sucky freezer, and it has this like little filter on the outside to keep stuff from getting in, and you couldn't see through it. The compressor would come on and kick out on overload because it wasn't shedding any heat. pulled that filter off, compressor kicked on, started cooling, cleaned that filter off, stuck it back on there. It worked fine. So I mean, you got to keep the equipment clean. I mean, just like Rich said, if you're not gonna clean the coils, you can't troubleshoot anything. You got to get that
not at all.
And with these extreme temperatures, pretty much it's just a cleaning issue the majority of the time. But if you don't clean, you're driving discharge, temperatures up. You're cooking your compressors, you're cooking components. I mean, plus you're just limiting the capacity of what that refrigerant can carry. So,
my thing is, I didn't mean to cut you off, but my thing is, in this heat right now, in this summer that we're having, even if the condenser isn't the reason you're there, you should still check it, because if it's dirty, you're not there for that today. You're going to be back there in a week or two for something that you could have got, taken care of in maybe an extra 30 minutes to an hour worth of time. And, it's just better for the customer, better for the equipment all the way around. But any unit that I work on, refrigeration wise right now, that's, remote, I'm checking the condenser while I'm there and taking care of it. And almost everyone I work on needs the condenser cleaned.
Yeah, we had a record year for cottonwood this year, and it kills me because all people want to do PMs like April, May, and I'm like, that's the worst time to do. We have cottonwood so bad here. I'm like, the PMs need to be, if you're going to chemically clean them in April or May, you're going to be back in June to at least spray the cottonwood out of them. I don't know if you guys have that where you're at, but
no,
I've never seen that down here. Something I've learned over the, in the few years I've been out there in the field, about 8. One thing I was taught was you should always clean the condenser coil, at least with water. Spray it down if you're not going to chemically clean it. But for 2 reasons. One, you never know who touched it last. Mm-hmm. And I love reading service notes, and I'll go and when I was a maintenance technician, when I worked at a service company, and now I read service notes, and there's a few things that stick out to me. And people complain in the winter that the pressures are too low. So what do? You don't see in the notes that they, clean the coil. They just add refrigerant sometimes, and to bring the level up. Then what happens in the summertime? Now it looks like it has high head pressure. Then they're pulling refrigerant out. I'm reading the notes. I'm like, where did you clean the coil? You never know who did what to it. So you can't trust it. Just clean the coil, take your pressures, and then that's going to be the most accurate. Make sure your fans are turning right. Make sure your blower. But it's people, I don't know, there's a lot of heat, so they have several calls. They run up there, pressure, they do shit, they don't think it through. And I know that because I did that when I first started, and it's just like, but I learned over time, it's like, you don't know who touched it last. You don't know what their comprehension or their skill set is. And you don't know where they are in their travels, but they're quick. Come summertime, high head pressure. No, it's not always because the coil's dirty, but let's eliminate it. Let's check the fans.
Exactly.
Now let's check the pressures, and it's just taking it out in the summer, putting it in the winter. And I'm looking for where in the notes in the heck did they check this other stuff? And I'm like, and then on top of that, you see that you look at the time of labor, and there's no way you can do that and all that stuff in an hour and be out of there and with an accurate diagnosis. It just isn't. It's not.
Run into that all the time. I run into that crap all the time. And the other thing I want to say is when you're checking coils, look between the fins, between the channels. A lot of people look at the face of it. Oh, there's nothing on here. And then they keep going. And then you take your light and you look through and you've got, dirt front to back. I was on a job one time. I was actually working on an oven, and the guy's refrigeration company, their PM crew came in and was cleaning the condensers on the make tables and all that. And I'm watching them, and they're just brushing off the front. And then they're spraying a little Viper and then throwing the filter back up and going. And I pulled the guys aside, and I'm like, hey, when the owner wasn't there, because I wasn't trying to, embarrass anybody. But I'm like, hey, one, y'all are doing that wrong. Y'all need to look between the fins. I said in Viper, and I know this can be debated, but if you read the can of Viper, it says that it's no rinse for the evaporator, not for the condenser. So when I explained that to them, they went back with their flashlight. They went to their van, got a spray bottle with water and their nitrogen, and started blowing everything out. And you just saw chunks of dust flying out from all them coils.
Yeah, so that no rinse thing is for evaporators only, like you said. It's because you get evaporators, they're full of moisture. So they're pulling that humidity out of the air, and they're self-rinsing with the moisture it pulls out of the air. And that's why it's no rinse.
Exactly.
But if you use them on the condenser, you gotta rinse them out.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially in a restaurant environment where it's, sucking in grease. No, that grease migration and whatnot. And the other thing is that I've noticed that some people only want to clean the outs from what they can see, the face of these condenser coils on these RTUs. Most of them have an access panel, and although there's a photo of the condenser fan, it's really just telling you don't stick your hand in there and get it cut. But that's where you access. You don't have to pull the whole side off. There's a little square. It's either diamond shape or it's square, and wet foam the inside and clean it from the inside, especially the V shape, the second stage of some of these units. If you look in there, it's all deteriorated. It looks horrible because people shot up in there at an angle. The chemical sat there and it ate it all up, and it's all flaky. If you open the panel, it looks perfect inside. You're going to have to take some high pressure to push that stuff through. I mean, other than that, you're replacing a coil. There's always years of somebody else who messed with this before you got it, unless you're the one who installed it and it's new. But there are these different access panels that are designed for you to do stuff, but people just don't pay no attention.
Mm-hmm.
So Adrian brings up a good point. He says, at all phase tech, I stay away from the brightener now. Only use micro channels, safe stuff for everything. Yeah, I rarely use the brightener. I used to use it on everything, and then I realized the damage I was doing, especially, guys that aren't rinsing it off very well. That stuff is bad. Yeah. I quit using it because I got sprayed in the face with it, and that's the reason I wear glasses now. I literally laid on the roof for 30 minutes with a hose in my eyes crying because I thought I was blind.
I use brighteners still, but only in extreme grease situations where nothing else is working. But no matter what I use, whether it's brightener or micro channel, safe, whatever, I rinse it forever. And like I tell people, rinse it until the water runs clear, and then keep rinsing it some more to make sure the chemical's off. Because I've seen people that they'll spray. And here's another thing: if you're going to put a chemical on a coil, set at least a 10-minute timer before you start rinsing it off. Because I've seen people sit there 1 or 2 minutes and then start rinsing it. And I'm like, no, you got to give that stuff time to work. And then, like I said, once you start rinsing it, rinse it until the water runs out clear, and then rinse it some more.
I pre-rinse. I wet mine. I don't ever want to put that chemical on a dry, because I've seen it flash, and it's like, ooh.
I do that too. I pre-rinse them before I spray them. Yeah.
I try to blast the big stuff off, or the solid stuff off with the hose, pre-rinse it, and then spray it. Yep. Yeah, I only use brightener in extreme situations. You'll have the coils next to an exhaust fan or a hood exhaust,
right?
And just sucking that grease in. So be mindful of that. But yeah, like you said, rinse it till it's clean, and then keep rinsing. I mean,
F5. You guys ever recommend the extensions for the exhaust that are probably like 4 or 5 feet? I've seen them at some locations, and and it looks it looks a little cleaner. And then I wonder, because I've gone to one location the other day where I had a complaint about something, and everything was covered in grease, like all the equipment and everything. So it's all getting sucked into the condenser. And then I'll go to another identical roof layout, no grease. And I don't know if maybe somebody's replaced the blower and the RPMs aren't where they're supposed to be, and it's spinning too fast, or I don't know what it's doing. But it's from one place to another. They look identical, but it's just a huge mess. So maybe something I got to dig deeper into.
I don't know. I've never even thought about that. I don't do a whole lot of stuff where everything's the same roof to roof to roof. So that's a good point. Why is some covered and some not? I mean, that's weird. Maybe they're getting their hoods cleaned regularly and the other place isn't. I mean, it's hard telling.
Yeah, maybe we could put that to someone in the chat if they get an opportunity that might know. They can chime in on that. But yeah.
Yeah, I always, when I'm installing equipment, I always make sure that the intake of my condenser is pointing away from the hoods. I've got guys that, this one's like this, I'm putting it right back here because they don't want to pipe it or change it. I'm like, no, you don't want that sucking that air off the exhaust. Yep. I mean, you don't always have a choice on a rooftop unit, but on your condenser units for your coolers and such, you can do whatever you want. So
yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. So, we're talking cigars out here, Corona.
Oh no, it's a small restaurant chain up here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a video. It's been a couple months that I posted. I was on call. One of their HVAC units was down. And I think the video is me going, I said something like, sometimes you just got to ask yourself why. And it's literally their HVAC units are all in front of the exhaust hoods. And I'm like, seriously.
It's like 2 feet away, isn't it? It's like right on top of of it.
like right on top of it. Yep.
Like who designed that? You know,
I still wonder.
It's a mushroom type hood, and it's just the coils are right next to it.
Mhm.
I haven't ever seen an extension for the mushroom type. I've seen the extensions for like the power ones where it's got the offset angle, the power. I forget what they actually call them, but I see some extensions on those. And they work out pretty good. The problem is a lot of times they stick up past the parapet wall, and then people think they look nasty from the road, and they don't want them. But I guess take your pick. Either your restaurant looks kind of weird with a big stack sticking at the top, or you destroy all your equipment.
yeah.
Looking weird is a lot cheaper. But destroying the equipment keeps us busy. So, I mean, whatever they choose is good with me.
Yeah, Quentin said an architect designed that crap, and it looks pretty on paper. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Architect and an engineer. Yeah.
It's never a repair guy that has any input. We just show up when it's broke. Like, I wouldn't have put it in this way.
Yep.
So what else you guys got for the heat? Stay out of it.
If you can,
If you can stay out of it, if not, I mean, shade and hydration, I think is what it really boils down to.
No one's boss is forcing them to stay on the roof. I mean, no one wants you to get hurt. I mean, if you work for someone that's saying you can't come off the roof, take a break, I'd find their job, or I'd call the paper board on them. Actually,
I mean that's my thing, and that goes back to that discussion me and you had when I was in that tech council last month.
Yeah,
and I told you one of the guys was like, well, sometimes we're in these situations that customers or manufacturers put us in. I'm like,
no.
dude, just you can take yourself out of it. I mean, if it's too hot on the roof and anybody, I don't care if it's my boss or what, tells me no, stay up there, I'm gonna be like, how about no, I'm going home. Like, it's that simple. I have a stroke or something, y'all gonna keep going. I'm not, my family's not. So at the end of the day, like everything, it boils down to take responsibility for yourself and make the right decisions for you and for your family, because everybody else will move on. The restaurant will survive with the AC down one more day. I mean, it's 80 degrees in the kitchen up here. I know in Florida it's not, but up here they get mad if the kitchen's 80 degrees. I'm like, I know people in Florida that would kill y'all to work in an 80-degree kitchen. But they'll be all right. Even if the cooler's down, they'll be all right. It'll be inconvenient, but don't do nothing that's going to hurt yourself, and don't keep yourself in a situation regardless of who's trying to pressure you.
Oh, guys kill me when they say that. I'm like, you work for the same person as me. They're not saying that. I'm like, you may think that and you're scared to say something or ask or say you're going to do it, but I was like, no one's going to make you do this. I mean, it's like literally it's illegal for him to force you to do something you feel unsafe to do. I'm like, now you're just being a smart ass and using it against them just because you don't want to do something. That's a different story. I told my guys, like, look, if you feel unsafe, document it, take pictures, and explain it to our bosses. And guess what? When you explain it to them, they understand. Oh, okay. But hey, I got to have two guys because, I got someone help me do this, this, and this. Well, why? Well, I just say so. That's not going to fly. Document it. Show a picture of where you're working at, what you got to do. And most times they're, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I've had them offer to send me help for stuff that I'm like, no, I got this. I can do this by myself, no problem. You sure? We normally send two guys. I'm like, no, that's cool, but I'm good. But even if a direct boss, didn't want us to, and obviously I can only speak for the company we work for, but what I'm learning being on this safety council is if a local branch manager tried to pressure you into something, I can guarantee you everybody else up the chain would be all over him if you went to them, because I can say about, PT Holdings, USG, whatever, they really do care about us being safe. That is their number one priority, thankfully.
Yeah, they are huge proponents of safety, man. I've sat in some meetings and I know a lot of people really high up, and I went to an event. I worked 21 hours, like 2 days before I went to this event, and they heard me talking about it. And this is the people that run the company for the unlimited service group. Like, you don't get any higher than these people. And they're like, there's no reason our tech should be working these hours. You shouldn't have done that. We're going to find out why you did that. And I was like, whoa. I was like, this is what happened. I was like, part of it was on me. Jobs went sideways. It happened. I said, it doesn't happen all the time. It wasn't forced on me. They're like, we don't want our guys working those kind of hours and doing that kind of stuff. It's dangerous. You have a family. We don't want anything to happen to you guys. And the interesting is a part of it, but they truly care about our well-being, and a lot of people don't see it that way just because they see it as some big giant company, but they really do care about us, and they're making changes. There's going to be a lot of changes that come up with stuff. So.
Was it last week? So was it last Thursday? I had worked all day. Then I did that overnight recert at Wendy's. Then I showed up to work 8 o'clock the next morning. My direct supervisor had me spend half the morning watching my trainee work on some shop jobs, and then had me run around giving parts out to text the rest of the day and just chilling. He's like, yeah, you showed up, whatever. And the only reason I actually went in is because the day before we had promised the lady we'd be back to finish a drain line heater on her walk-in freezer. If it wasn't for that, I would have called out and they would have been perfectly fine with it. But he's like, well, since you're here, watch him for a couple hours. And then he's like, hey, go run these parts out to people. And that's it. So, yeah, I mean, they care. At least our company does. Oh, yeah.
We're the same way. If I do a night job, it's not asked. I work the next day. A lot of times if I'm home by midnight or 1, I'll come in, at 10 or 11. I don't, come in after 5 hours of sleep. I'll get, 6, 7 hours of sleep, but it's never required. I want my customers taken care of, and they schedule me out that day. If I come in and I can clear a couple of calls, that just puts us a little bit ahead. I just try to do that. So
yeah, the first time I showed up after an overnight job and I showed up the next morning on time, they were like, "Why are you here?" I'm like, "What you mean? Why am I here?" Well, you just worked the whole night. I said, first of all, listen, if I'm going to work overnight, I'm getting paid overtime. I'm not working overnight for my regular pay. They were like, well, if you want to, but at any point you're ready to go home, just give us a call and head home. You're good. I'm like, all right, cool.
Quentin said?
Quentin said he doesn't sleep 5 hours in a regular night anyways.
I don't either, man. I'm taking my sleeping pills right now. And be in bed by 9:15.
I just 6 hours. I try to ride that wave. I function on worse. I've got a huge addiction to energy drinks. I drink the 0-calorie ones. I mean, they just don't have calories and sugar. They're not any better for you. That's what my meme was the other day. I seen that video on TikTok and I had to share it because it was great. The old lady at the gas station. Those are bad for you, right?
Yeah. No, for the most part, I gave up energy drinks. Every so often I'll drink a Red Bull, but I went to the hospital a couple times a few years ago drinking Monsters. And I thought I was having a heart attack. It was just a bunch of chest spasms and different things. And the doctor that checked on me, what he told me was, he was like, it's not even the caffeine in those drinks. It's everything else that they put in there throws your body completely out of whack. Yeah, the taurine and all the other stuff.
I drink Celsius's, and one reason I do that is because it's still an energy drink. They sell it at the supplement stores and at the gym and stuff like that. And we get cases from Sam's, and one day I'll have one of those. The next day I'll have a fresh double shot of espresso Bustiello from my espresso. The next day I'll have a Celsius. Next day Bustiello. So I try to chop it up. But I do take it with I have a fat burner that I got from the supplement shop. I chop that in half. I take that and I shoot it, and then I'll be right there behind you, Rich.
Dude, I'm terrible, man. I have 3, 4, 5 a day. Just that's all I was drinking. So
that's too much.
When it gets hot, I know. When it gets hot, I try not to drink any at all. I might have my coffee in the morning. So I have to have coffee every day. So when it gets warm, I drink cold brew and I have it cold. And then come September and October, it starts getting cool. I'll switch back over to brewing hot coffee. But
what coffee you drink?
Just Maxwell House or Folgers. Oh. I just make a cold brew. I just brew my own, and then I'm nothing fancy. I'm no Bustelo, Cafe Bustelo. I went to break room at the office and they had a big can of it. I was like, "Whose is this?" They're like, "Don't touch that."
Oh man, you try it. Have you tried it?
No.
Oh, you'll put down your energy drinks, bro.
Yeah, for real. I'll take that before I take an energy drink. I used to drink this coffee called Death Wish.
Oh yeah, that's
I've seen that.
That stuff's
it's a good coffee, but you're not meant to drink a travel mug full a day of that coffee, and that's what I was doing. It was messing up my sleep, and I was like, "No, I need to get off this junk."
So I've got an extra large shaker cup. It's 34 ounces, and my coffee in the morning was legit. It's 30 ounces of coffee, and it's and I was drinking energy drinks on top of it. I'd drink the coffee, be gone by an hour. I'd run my first job, and I'd go to the gas station and buy 2 or 3 Monsters, and
that's all you need is 2 ounces of Bustelo, and you'll be good.
Yep.
Oh boy.
You guys drink caffeine after 12?
Oh,
I can't drink anything
after caffeine at 9 o'clock and go to bed at 10.
Yeah, oh, man. But I could literally drink some Bustelo right now, and I'll be in bed by 10:30, out cold.
Yep.
That's in your DNA, man.
It's But yeah, you want to stay away from those energy drinks, especially right now, man. It's sugar and all kinds of bad shit for you, and you're not hydrating yourself drinking that. So
No.
I do water and then Gatorade Zeros. I'll drink about 3 or 4 Gatorade Zeros a day and try to drink a gallon of water. I'm pissing all day if I'm inside. But I mean, people are like, "Oh, you work inside." I'm like, "You've never worked in a kitchen, then if you say inside is cool." Like I was under a hood at a hotel today, and there was like 97-degree air coming out of the makeup air unit. Like the maintenance guy was like shining his gun up there, and the screen with the filter or the screen coming through said 97 degrees.
Damn.
And then you walk 5 feet away, and there's an air conditioning duct, and water's literally just running right out of it. My son, why is this thing got water running out of it? And someone explaining like humidity coming in the building through the return air. It's not getting sucked out from the hood. It's collecting on this cooler duct, and it's condensing it back down. So I'm using it as a lesson to explain to them how things work. But dude, these kitchens, I mean, some are nice. I'm not gonna lie, I had a Chick-fil-A today. It was 65 degrees in that kitchen, dude, and I was like loving it. You go to the dining room and it was 75. I'm like, ooh. I'm going back to the kitchen. I'll take a break. So, I think that's about it for today. I appreciate you guys coming on talking about the heat and how to stay cool. We kind of got a little carried away with some other stuff, but that's how it is. I try to keep it freeform, freeform and let it roll. But I appreciate you guys coming on. And any last parting words or any stories from this week you want to tell before we bounce?
Tomorrow's Friday, man. I'm going to enjoy this weekend. I am not thinking or doing anything to do with work. My sister's in town. My sister-in-law just left with her kids. So try to enjoy family. I know I got a long day tomorrow and just going to enjoy the weekend. Looking forward to next week's episode and whatnot. What are you doing, Rich?
I'm going to be hating on you while I'm on call because I know this is going to be an HVAC and refrigeration weekend with this heat.
Yeah.
Our on-call guy is a hot-only guy, so I'm sure he'll be calling me, trying to get me to come run stuff. And I'm not doing it this weekend. I made a post, yesterday. I was like, man, I need a weekend away.
Yeah, you did.
I got a big Jeep event Saturday, so it's like an all-day thing. It's a big fundraiser for some local animal shelters, so it's always a pretty cool event. So I'll go do it all day Saturday. And Sunday I'll probably work around the house some, but I'm not going to go overboard. I'm just kind of chill out, so. But I appreciate you guys stopping on, and I'll see you guys next week.
Cool. Y'all be easy. Be safe.